Hi, wrestling fans. Thanks for clicking today's Doretta D. Rose report. Let's see what we got news-wise here. I know this is devastating, but for I know 3 of her fans, former WWE diva Eve Torres posted a farewell message thanking all of her fans for support. Like I say, I know them 3 are just very upset about that. But anyway, in the video she recorded from her hotel room on Monday night right after Raw, Eve talks about her final days in WWE. Hold on. Let me get it together. And what's next for her now that she's no longer in the wrestling business. As I reported, Eve, I'll be all right here in a few. Eve plans on getting married to her fiancé, Rene Gracie, soon and will be focusing on her women's self-defense program. Well, let's go on. WWE officials has talked last week about inducting either, believe it or not, DX or The Click. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Sean Waltman, and anybody else that's laying around. Anyway, as a group into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Not confirmed that they will go in, but it's definitely talked about over the last week or so. So should we have The Click or should we have DX? I'm surprised DX hadn't been in there already. But anyway, Bob Backlund was at WWE headquarters in Stamford this week. WWE wants to induct Backlund this year, but word is he's not accepted the invite yet. Or if he's holding out for money, or if he's related to Bruno Sammartino. Anyway, talking to Bruno, word within WWE over the past week is that there's hope in reaching out to Bruno once again to ask him about being inducted. One source believes Triple H is planning to offer his personally travel to Pittsburgh to meet with Bruno. You know, why don't you try thinking about maybe letting somebody go and talk to Bruno that may be a friend of his or somebody maybe he really looks up to that would talk him into it instead of somebody he hates the guts of. Now, he may not hate Triple H that much, but anyway, with all the names floating around and the possible induction this year, it's safe to say nobody's confirmed yet except for Mick Foley, but noted yesterday Kamala may be the next one announced. This week, WWE Classic 5-Star Match of the Week was chosen by Booker T, if you get that thing. He picked out the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express from WCW Wrestle War 1990. He said, I picked that match because those were the 2 tag teams that I grew up watching. Those guys inspired me and my brother to get back and to get into the ring and become a tag team. And those tag teams were brought together. They perform at the highest level. I don't think there's ever going to be a tag team that's going to be performing at those levels of those guys on a yearly, weekly, nightly occasion. Everybody talks about Road Warriors being the greatest tag team of all time. It's my pick. I think it's a time between the Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express. Anyway. Latest word on Curt Hawkins returning to action that he may be back in time for Royal Rumble. If not, then definitely early February. WWE's officials expect Evan Bourne back in action possibly before WrestleMania. And hopefully he'll be able to stay around for a while. There's been people within WWE who feels that The Rock is working more dates this year as a direct response to the internal criticism he received last year about working such a limited schedule. I don't know if he's worried about his, him going over big with the fans. I mean, not with the fans, but the wrestlers backstage. But he don't care. It's got to do with money. You pay him, he'll be there. He'll come over to my house and I give him a few million. Yeah, that's going to happen. Hey, latest on Where Are They Now? We're looking at WWE star Taka Michinoku and Funaki, or known as Kaientai. Anyway, Funaki currently runs wrestling school in San Antonio, Texas, while Funaki is called the Funaki Dojo, or Dojo, maybe it's Dojo. Anyway, Taka still wrestles and runs a school in Japan called Kaientai Doju. Anyway, Funaki says, I want to help young wrestlers get to WWE while I learned a lot while I was there, so I can teach them whatever I can. Oh, here he comes. Yeah, he popped. Yeah. Trying to smack me. Quit it. Anyway, the score sent the following infographics with 2012 stats for WWE. Please make a note of this. It shows that Sheamus has the most wins with 76 throughout 2012. John Cena with the least wins with 31. The most losses went to Dolph Ziggler with 56, while Zack Ryder had the least losses with 30. That's because he probably had the least matches, too. Hey, Rey Mysterio, he's scheduled to get back to the ring Friday Raw live event in Staples Center. No word yet it's going to be returned to WWE TV, though. And TNA's British Boot Camp is said to be a pet project of Dixie Carter. She's a big fan of reality TV, and that's all we need. Anyway, Amazing Red was previously advertised for this weekend's pay-per-view, TNA's pay-per-view taping, but I don't know. Word is that he was booked elsewhere and he didn't show up. Simple as that. TNA released an invitation. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. They released an invitation from me and you and everybody else for the Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan wedding on Impact this week. I don't know. There was something just horribly wrong with that. Former WWE diva Kelly Kelly has been announced for WrestleCon April 6th at the Meadowland Expo Center in Syracuse, New Jersey. And WWE SmackDown brand is going to be making 2 rare stops in Alaska tonight and Friday night with shows in Fairbanks and Anchorage. The Shield's going to be working SmackDown Loop this weekend, I guess. Tyson Kidd linked to an article where he responded to CM Punk's pipe bomb name drop and tweet the following on Tuesday. He said, "Silence broken. I appreciate and I am overwhelmed by the support from everyone. Thank you." Brad Maddox, by the way, will do some ringside commentary on this week's episode of the main event. It keeps him out of the ring, I guess. JR noted on Twitter that his JR's Barbecue Company is working on releasing a hot sauce and wing sauce. I thought he already had that. What's the barbecue sauce for? Former WWE star Funaki, I think I was telling you that, backstage last night at WWE SmackDown taping in San Antonio, Texas. He lives in the area, of course. And, and The Miz tweeted about his Raw segment with Ric Flair. He said, "Thanks, Ric Flair, Nature Boy, for making my dream come true, for making Miz TV the most watched part of the 20th anniversary of Raw." He says, whoa, that's kind of bad if that's the most watched part. What? Come here. Come here. Hang on a second. See what's going on here. Hi, we're back. I had to let him out. Let him out in the yard. He had to go. I went with him. Anyway, WWE's reportedly released Brandon Carter from his developmental deal as a tattooed wrestler known as Tack in NXT. He's a former NFL offensive lineman. And Carter's NXT profile, it's been removed from the roster, but still kind of, he still could be there. They could be either updating it or changing his name, who knows. And happy birthday to WWF wrestler Rick Bardner, 43 years old. Also, this would have been the birthday of a legendary manager, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, 64 years old. I guess that was it. Hey, got anything, any questions, just ask on the comments, and otherwise, if anything weird goes on or exciting, I'll be back on here later. Hey, thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go.